Okay, there we go. Yeah.
We are on the last chapter of this godforsaken hellhole that is my life.
This may or may not be the last episode of this story.
We can only hope.
Yeah. It's a long one though. Like it's longer than last week's, and last week's was like what, 2 hours?
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh God. Chapter 7, Unintended Consequences.
August 8th, 1980.
Albus Dumbledore projected an air of immortality. Sure, he'd been killed in the original timeline, but no one had expected it to happen. People expected the old man to live to be 600 without the benefit of a Philosopher's Stone. Well, he is a wizard.
Yeah.
I suspect that wizards have naturally longer timelines due to magic.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things I started thinking about was just like in a world where magic has been revealed to just population at large. How does that affect the pharmaceutical industry, like the medical industry?
Well,
I imagine it's still preferable for stuff like diseases that your body still gets accustomed to it and enough to where your immune system will kick in. Hence why like vaccines are a thing. You inject like a dead or weakened version of like the disease into a person's body with a low enough dose that it wouldn't cause any threatening effects. But their immune system comes in contact with it and is like, oh, hey, this shit. I'll remember this shit.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Like, are wizards more naturally resistant to disease? That's what the question it raises.
I mean, I wasn't even thinking that thing. I was thinking, hey, what would happen to the medical industry if you introduced magic? How would that affect medicine?
Well, I mean, that becomes a thing. Maybe alternative medicine would be taken more seriously? I don't know.
Well, there's a difference between alternative medicine and magic.
Yeah, true enough. What if magic was introduced as an alternative medicine?
All right, look. We can cure the mumps, but we're going to need to sacrifice a chicken.
Or we could just give you this vaccine. I mean, it's
or we could give you the vaccine. I mean, you should have taken... Well, no, at that point, you should have taken the vaccine ahead of time, because if you've already got mumps...
Yeah.
It's kind of late for the vaccine.
Yeah, okay, so we can treat you medically, or we can sacrifice a chicken and you'll be cured instantly. So...
I mean, it's kind of a 50-50. On top of that, if we sacrifice the chicken, the child's not going to get the benefits of, the immune system dealing with it. So they could catch it again later down the line. It's not like I kill this chicken and their immune system instantly understands what's going on.
No, it's just we kill the chicken and we kill the disease at the same time. So
yeah, basically.
Man, not even 5 minutes in and we're already off topic.
There's a reason why in that universe we're like, because like one of the characters is able to use like healing magic, but the whole thing that it does is it just repairs damage.
Mm-hmm.
If you have poison in you, it'll repair the damage that the poison is doing, but that poison is still in you.
Yeah.
Like,
might not be the best
it's
thing.
not going to replace blood that you lost, because blood is not technically a bodily tissue. It's something created by your bone. It's a fluid created by your bone marrow, basically. Like division of cells and all that. So since it's not tissue lost, it doesn't replace it. So it's like, yeah, your leg's back, but you're missing all that blood.
We might have to amputate it.
We may have to hook you up to an IV.
All right, what's your blood type? We might need to do a transfusion.
Can you only take O negative, or is like A is going to work? AB won't, I know that much. But
it seemed in this timeline he seemed not only immortal but impervious to all the demands that he be sacked from Hogwarts. He'd lost every other position he'd held in the British government, but he couldn't be dislodged from the ancient castle.
He'd glued himself to the wall.
Now I'm just imagining the crazy Dumbledore voice from the Harry Potter Puppet Pals.
I was just imagining Dumbledore from My Immortal. What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers?
I've glued myself to the wall. You can't sack me now.
Oh no! I can't reach the aspirin. This headache's only going to get fucking worse. I've made a horrible fucking mistake. It's the portrait. I told you so. Shut the fuck up.
You told me nothing. Then just Professor McGonagall and Professor Snape just kind of looking at each other helplessly, like, what are we supposed to do in this situation?
I'm not sure this was the best course of action. Shut the fuck up, Severus!
Shut up, Snivelus!
Don't you even stop me, Google! This is how terrible this story is to deal with. We have to distract ourselves by thinking of the much better My Immortal fanfiction. I'd much rather deal with Ebony Darkness Raven Dementia Way than this shit.
I would too, and that's the scary part.
He put his boy thingy in mine, and we did it.
No, I think the line was, he put his thingy in my you-know-what, and we did it for the
No, that was the first time. The second one is, he put his boy thing in mine.
Oh, yeah, then that spawned that joke and just everything.
When she whips out her dick and it's bigger than yours.
Oh, how far we've come and how
we've made far many more dick jokes in that time. Or I have.
I mean, I've made one or two, so that is more, yes.
I wonder if he's got blackmail material on the Board of Governors or something.
Oh god, he's monologuing again.
Oh, is that Harry?
Yep, Harry was doing something.
Someone in the street, that's why I did that voice.
Harry was doing something incredibly stupid. He was monologuing again. He was tired of waiting for Dumbledore's natural fall from grace. He decided to help it along. This time he would kill Dumbledore.
I'll steal Malfoy's wand. Wait
a sec. Wait.
He hasn't been bored, and he won't be bored because I killed his father. Fuck!
Now whose wand will I steal? Truly, Harry has become the villain. The Dark Lord, the boy who lived.
The guy who survived. Harding Porter.
The human who didn't die.
You know that one guy who's still alive?
Henry
I don't remember what his name was. It was like Hardridge?
Henry Screever. Wait.
I don't know. The last name still needs to start with a P. Henry Partridge.
Hilbert Porridge.
Porridge?
Okay, maybe not porridge. That's a little too stupid, even for this story's standards. Hilbert Peterson.
God damn it. He had spent the last week, off and on, searching Forbidden Forest for something he knew to be there. There was no way a basilisk could grow to 22 meters in length if it didn't feed regularly. Okay, 1 magical monster. 2 rats.
Exactly.
As well as I'm pretty sure it easily could have gotten a house elf or something. I mean, it's the Harry Potter universe. No one seems to care about house elves.
The house elves like to serve people. It's what they do.
I don't think they like to be fed to basilisks.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Yes, what is it that you want?
What's this what you want from me, Master Potter? Oh, no! He just screams as Harry just watches with cold, dead eyes.
The acromantulas all feared the massive beast, even though they refused to speak its name. Yeah, because they're smart spiders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I'm assuming like if a basilisk like started eating like rats regularly, then got to the point where it was too big to where rats wouldn't exactly well, unless it ate its body weight in like rats and stuff would
Oh,
it
we're
would
also talking about a reptile, though.
Yep.
Those tend to require less food per body mass to something that's warm-blooded, like, say, a mammal.
Yeah, but if it is like a magical beast and it requires a lot of food like that, I'm just imagining it just like slithering around in the forest with its mouth open like a whale eating krill and everything else.
The snake game has become real. Oh my god, guys. Can you believe they did this? It just like circles back, hits its tail, and explodes.
I was thinking more spore, but I like your idea better.
Well, okay, there's also the question of, does a magically powerful beast actually require that much food for its body weight? Pointing back to all the people that it petrified and never ate.
Mm-hmm. As
the people the first... Oh my god, this... Oh god, you're fucking kidding me. The Basilisk was released during the time that Hagrid was in school, because that's the time when Tom Marvolo Riddle was in school, and that was when Hagrid had the giant fucking pet spider, Aragog. Not Aragog. Aragog's the...
No, you're correct. It's Aragog.
Oh, what the fuck's the name of the Lord of the Rings one?
You're thinking Shelob.
I hate how I get those confused. Anyway,
no, it's okay. Yeah. I get them confused sometimes.
But that was the time whenever he had Aragog. If Aragog is a sentient spider capable of speech, and at the time a basilisk was being released to the school, why wouldn't he know about that? In fact, I'm pretty sure in the second book that was the implication. Hey, I was around in the school during the first time this thing got fucking released. Believe me, this is some serious fucking shit. I'm going to eat you now.
Yeah, I mean, that basically wraps up their conversation they had. Except for the part where it's like, we actually like Hagrid. We don't really care about you, so like...
Basically, yeah. But yeah, like, that's the whole thing. They knew about it because the first one was out and about at the time.
The conclusion. There was an entrance to the Chamber of Secrets somewhere in the forest.
You dumb motherfucker.
Because magic.
I haven't read that book or watched the movie in fucking years. And it's just like off the top of my head. Oh yeah. The spider was in the... Fuck. Karate chop my headphones. Give me a sec.
Okay.
The spider was in the fucking school at the time. The first time it got released. It knew about that shit.
So they didn't think to question the spider.
The spider was blamed for the attacks.
Yeah.
And Hagrid was expelled. All because Tom Marvolo Riddle's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But yeah, like, there's the whole thing of how much does a snake really need to eat if it didn't eat any of the things it petrified? You'd think, oh, I indirectly glanced at this person, and they're now incapable of movement, basically in a living rigor mortis. Yeah, I'm not going to eat it right now.
No, did not copy the GIF. Dang it. Okay. You just said karate chop your headphones, and that's what I thought of. I was trying to...
You need to copy the URL, not the image.
Yeah, I just figured that
out. Oh, God. Harry had narrowed down the places where it couldn't be. You mean like outside the school? Or specifically outside the girls' toilet? Oh, God. The only major areas near where the acromantulas nested and where a pair of pygmy cerebi were reputed to roam.
Cerberus. What Cerberus. Is that like miniature Cerberus?
Tiny Cerberus. Cerberi would be plural of Cerebus.
Yes.
Or not Cerebus. Cerebus is a comic. Cerberus.
I'm just thinking a toy poodle chihuahua and dachshund Cerberus.
Okay, because the first... Yeah, the one from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yes.
But here's the thing. The Cerberus was a thing that Hagrid got that Hagrid had used, like, for the fucking, it was named Fluffy. Fluffy.
Yes, Fluffy.
Fluffy.
To guard
Harry.
the Philosopher's Stone.
Technically Hagrid already had that on hand. Let me open up the Wikipedia page to see if there's any insight on how long Hagrid had this thing. Gigantic, monstrous male, three-headed dog who was once cared for by Rubeus Hagrid. Born before 1991, because that's when the story started. Greatest music was the inability to resist falling asleep to the sound of music. Purchased Fluffy from a Greek chappie at the Leaky Cauldron. Loaned it to the headmaster during the 1991-1992 school year. As further insurance against the intruders, the door leading to the room Fluffy was in was magically locked. Let's see. In 2019, Fluffy was suspected of being involved in an incident with a taco truck.
But Hagrid, you're gonna need better fences. Your dog got out.
Well, no. According to this, Dumbledore sent Fluffy back to its native Greece.
Okay.
After the stone was destroyed, which, in the intervening time, Fluffy was released in the Forbidden Forest. But again, that was after Harry's first year.
And also, they only put Fluffy in the school to guard the Philosopher's Stone from Voldemort.
But he was still owned by Hagrid, who... Did Hagrid live on the grounds, or did he actually have a house other than the groundskeeper abode?
That's a good question. I don't know, honestly.
But the thing is, it was owned by Hagrid, and I highly doubt that in 1980, Hagrid was, like, had Fluffy. Like, I don't know.
Probably not. He probably got it in the late 80s rather than the early 80s.
But late 80s, and I highly doubt he would have just been keeping him in the Forbidden Forest.
Yeah.
Hagrid's the kind of guy that's going to keep something like that in his house.
Yeah, if he had another house off the campus, maybe he kept it there and maybe was like, "Hey, Dumbledore, could I have this weekend off so I can go visit Fluffy?"
Or
make sure
maybe
it hasn't
he just
eaten.
kept it in his hovel. I wouldn't put it past him to keep Fluffy in his hovel.
No, you're right. I can actually see that.
But it says we're a pack of pygmy Cerebi. I mean, not Cerebi, Cerberi.
Of course,
this world building wouldn't be so fucking annoying if it weren't for the fact that you were just, like, adding this shit to, like, a world with pre-established shit. To try and create your fucking insufferable, everything sucks, I need to fix it motif.
Of course, the entrance wound up being very...
I think it might all be the same paragraph.
No, it looks like two different ones on my page, but, like...
Okay, then.
Okay. Of course, the entrance wound up being very near to the Acromantulas. Harry had to kill quite a number of them before he was able to have a moment to ponder the strange entrance.
Fuck you, Harry. He tried hissing at... Like, you have so many... Protego is a thing. Create a fucking shield. He tried hissing at the rune inscribed tree. That did nothing. He looked around the entire thing and tried to decipher some of the runes. Then he conjured a snake and tried speaking to it.
Open up.
Oh my god. Bang! He was shot dead by me. No, wait. We want to make this real interesting. He was shot dead by Maltoni. The gods sent him to deal with a fucking time paradox that some idiot created. You've never been back in 1980 before. I mean, he'd been in England plenty of times, but never in 1980. A weird day. Two decided that they would probably try to do their best to get home quickly. Largely because there wasn't much in the way of good food around here. And also because 1980... no, okay, never mind. I couldn't figure out a good way to make that joke.
Yeah. Hey.
This was some weird shit. Yeah, tell me about it.
That was an easy job.
Yeah. Dumbass didn't even hear sneaking up. Who is this kid? I don't fucking know.
He's not a kid anymore.
That is very true.
Mm.
I don't know. I just get the feeling that I should use the word kid around him. I don't know. I get the feeling that he acts like a small child, really. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling too. Weird. Want to go home? Yes. A massive noise echoed through the forest. The tree trunk opened, revealing a deep, curving tunnel swirling into the ground. You don't necessarily need to put tree in quotation marks, because it is very possible that if someone were to create a passageway like this, they would just use a real fucking tree and have it to where when you did a thing, it fucking, like, transformed into a doorway.
Mm-hmm. Because magic is a thing in this universe.
You're not thinking with magic.
Harry vanished the conjured snake and followed the path. The tree sealed itself up, and Harry used a simple lumos to light his way.
Oh, now he's using magic. On top of that, you wouldn't even need to conjure a snake, being as, like, again, transfiguration. You could probably turn a twig into a snake instead of just creating one.
No, he has to do this in the coolest and least efficient way possible. Did I say
fucking
coolest?
Snake next to his corpse? I don't know. Kind of cute. Want to keep it? If I could do a New York accent right now. The last one I did, I ended up getting angry, and that's kind of what caused it to happen, which was the weirdest fucking thing.
Just do Joey Wheeler, you'll be fine.
Well, like, I got really angry because Harry decided to go to a French restaurant in New York. I'm sorry, you're in fucking New York City. You don't go to a fucking French restaurant. You go to a fucking Italian place, or you go to fucking Chinatown.
Or just go to McDonald's. I mean, they're there too.
In fucking New York City. You go to New York City, you fucking have Italian.
I mean, if you
have Chinatown, you fucking deal with the natural culture. I mean, with the native, the present culture. You don't go out there and oh, hey, here's a fucking thing that I could get any other fuck place. No, I need to go to a fucking Italian restaurant where the fucking server doesn't understand a fucking word I'm saying because of the fact that I'm speaking English.
Okay, man.
I need to pantomime the fucking man a fucking take-home box.
All right, just breathe, man. It's okay. We're good. I'll drop the subject if it'll make you feel better.
Like, that's what had to happen to get the accent to happen.
Well, I mean, at the risk of sounding prejudiced, I don't know. New Yorkers' kind of default emotion seems to be angry. At least New York City New Yorkers.
Well, yeah, but at least they're fucking honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
They let you know that they fucking hate you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a whole beat around the bush thing of, oh, bless your fucking heart.
Well, in some places they actually mean that thing, and some people just don't get that that's actually a thing.
Well, no, typically bless your heart is just a southern way of saying you fucking idiot.
No, not especially.
Like, there's usually no other meaning. It's just fucking idiot. Like, you only say that when someone has done something profoundly stupid. And embarrassing.
Not especially. Like, sometimes
yeah,
it's like,
I've never heard it in any other context, and I've never said it in any other context. It's just...
If something... Okay,
like,
if something...
someone does something stupid, it's like, oh, bless your heart.
No, okay. I don't know.
I need to know where the fuck you've been that it's been said as a positive thing, because I have never once heard it said that way. It's just
Dude,
a whole
I grew up in the South. I've been around people like that. And like in contexts where it's like things have happened where it's like been misfortune. They're like, oh, bless your heart. It must have been so hard. And they were being...
I've never heard it said that way.
Well, just because you've never heard it.
I hope it gets better for you. Not bless your heart. Bless your heart is something you say whenever they brought it upon themselves.
Well, maybe you, but like just because you've never heard it said that way doesn't mean it actually is a thing. So like, I don't know.
Unless I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that you grew up in like a region with a lot of Mormon people, and so they're legitimately nice.
No.
And so it's like, oh, bless your heart, that must have sucked for you.
No,
like, those are the only people I can see saying it that way.
No, I grew up in
because they are horrifyingly polite.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of the Midwest anyway. But just
Like,
I grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and a lot of my family members were from both Texas and more of the Deep South, and they've used things just like in that context quite a bit. Like
in the 20 odd years I have spent in the South, I have only ever heard it used for stuff that people have brought upon themselves.
And that's your experience.
Completely serious. That has been the only situation I've heard it in. Never like, yeah, like something fucked up with the bank and I'm out a lot of money. Oh, bless your heart. No, it's just like, yeah, I got in a fight with my girlfriend and like she fucking left me. Oh, bless your heart.
See, I've heard it used in both connotations.
Just like someone does something like embarrassing. Like, yeah, I was doing something I shouldn't have and I broke my leg. I was climbing a telephone pole.
Yeah, no, the response I've heard to stuff like that happening is like, were you drinking?
I've never heard the were you drinking question. It was just like, oh, you fucking idiot.
Different parts, I guess.
That's the whole thing. Like, at least in New York, they're honest about the fact that they can't stand you. It's not this behind your back thing and pretending to be nice to you.
There's some places where they're pretending to be nice. There are others where they're genuinely nice, man. Like, it's not all just passive-aggressive insanity.
No, it is one of those things. I'm trying to remember. There was like a Texas license plate where it was like Texas, then like the friendly state or something. It's like I've never felt less welcome in most areas than I have in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that could be some people's experience and stuff like that. Me, I've grown up in Texas, so I have a little bit of a bias, I guess, but I haven't had like bad experiences like that. And when I went back to Texas, it's like I don't know. To me, it seems like there's a more genuine feel there than
because like the whole thing, I tend to hear from people who like either come from outside of Texas or have lived in Texas, grew up there, and then moved out and came back is either that, wow, Texans are really distressingly vain.
Oh, yeah, no.
They are horrifically judgmental.
Yeah, no, that's the bad.
That might just be more of a regional thing because of Panhandle.
Yeah, that it's really bad in the Panhandle. I'm gonna be honest with that.
But sucks when it comes to people.
Yeah, and then there are some really genuine and really good people there too. You just gotta know.
Yeah, there are some. It's just a whole thing of like, college should not be an environment where people have gone into cliques.
Yeah, no, that's the small town mentality thing kind of going on with. It's stupid, but that's the way it goes. Like I spent my high school years in a town of 15,000 people. The cliques were terrible there, and I managed the friends I have now that I still have were diamonds in the rough that I met, and they've kind of stuck beside me. There are people who started kind of being my friends at first and then weren't really, but then again, for the most part, it was like I tried to be nice to everyone. I attracted the ones who actually were, and the ones who weren't. When they figured, I don't know. I'm talking from an outsider's perspective. You know what? I'm going to stop talking because I'm rambling. But anyway, yeah. It depends on the region, I think, and stuff like that. And the best people I've met and the worst people I've met have been in Texas. So.
See, okay. It took nearly an hour to move through the filthy tunnel before he'd arrived in a large room. Harry popped into the Chamber of Secrets from behind one of the statues in the massive room. Been so preoccupied with his original battle that he'd foolishly never come back to investigate the place.
Harry had the curiosity beaten out of him at a young age. It was another reason to hate Dumbledore. Okay. Are you...
What? If anything, Dumbledore told you to ask questions.
Also, Harry had the curiosity beaten out of him. The reason he got into trouble was because he was curious and wanted to figure out things most of the time.
Dumbledore typically didn't give a shit. Oh, you broke into a room which contained a Cerberus, a deadly plant, a living chessboard, 100 other deadly things, and a Philosopher's Stone. Okay.
Good on you for surviving, man.
You went back in time, released a known felon, and then let loose a hippogriff that mauled a child. Okay. I'm just gonna sit over here, eat these jelly beans.
Just hope I don't get a bad flavored one
or bogey.
Yeah,
Vomit.
there we go.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna eat these chocolate frogs. Like, Dumbledore was not stifling Harry's curiosity. If anything, he encouraged it by not giving a shit about what happened to Harry as a result.
Which is both a good and a bad thing.
Like, he didn't let Harry suffer the consequences of his actions.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nah, go ask questions. Whatever. Like,
Be a kid.
He didn't let Harry know too much about his own life, but that was also because of the fact that he had his own guilt over the fact that his fights with his ex, like, permanently damaged his sister.
Yeah, just...
Like, yeah, that's the kind of person that'd be secretive about that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, though. Is like, Dumbledore is a flawed character, but he is not a bad person at all.
I mean, granted, yes, putting all this responsibility on a child is typically a bad move, but...
Yeah, but that's the whole thing of chosen one prophecies and all that, so, like...
Yeah. It's a story aimed at young readers. Of course, they're going to have a whole thing of, ooh, I want to be a chosen one.
Yeah. So become the main character of your own story. Don't be a jerk, though.
Don't be the main character. That's gonna fucking suck. All your friends are gonna die. Be that really weird background character who people are really curious about what's going on with their life, but they're never the focus.
Or be the supporting character who everyone loves but isn't the main focus.
Well, typically the whole thing is also that the main character is also always the most boring because they're supposed to be the relatable one.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you never want to be the main character, because then you're boring. Take that, all those people unironically using the NPC meme. You're fucking boring! You main characters, like... Oh, God. You main character milquetoast motherfuckers. The main character has no personality because you're puppeting him.
Wow, we just got really harsh. I mean, I'm not in a bad way, but
there's so many things about that shit that I find funny. Like, oh, the fact that it's basically just used by people to refer to anyone who doesn't share the same opinion of them. Wow, that's so you're using this thing that you're saying is supposed to be a representation of the loss of individuality to describe anyone who doesn't feel the exact same way about things that you do.
Okay.
It's like those people who won't shut up about America being the land of freedom to get offended about gay people.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Okay, it's the land of freedom. Let people do what they want. I had a really cool
basically
picture.
Your freedoms end where other people's freedoms start.
Mm-hmm.
You technically have the freedom to punch someone in the face. However, they have the freedom to not be punched in the face.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Yeah, people
positive and negative freedoms.
Yeah,
they have yes, you have the freedom to bitch and moan about gay people existing, and they have the freedom to not deal with your shit.
Yeah, then there's also people who, they have the freedom to talk about fascism and becoming Nazi and white supremacy, but I also have the freedom to punch you in the face or kick you in the balls, depending on what I'm feeling.
And I also have the freedom to call you a fucking idiot. You have the freedom to complain about ex-president driving us more into debt, and I have the freedom to point out that every president after George Washington has done the exact same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nope. Good and bad alike.
That's the funniest thing that I ever heard. Is like the main complaint I ever hear about Obama, aside from people claiming that he's like Muslim or communist, is he drove the U.S. into debt. Motherfucker, have you ever looked at American history?
Newsflash:
Reagan tripled debt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did, and like. All presidents have contributed to debt becoming a thing, so why are you acting like it's a new
Washington
thing?
Because he told people, hey, take care of debt.
Yeah, that was George Washington
He also
was
said not to divide the Senate and the House.
Mhm.
Oops.
Well,
immediately after political parties became a thing.
yeah, he didn't like the idea of political parties. He was just like, we should all be one party that have different opinions, and we should discuss
it's
things.
not even that everyone should be one party. It's just that parties should not exist.
Yeah.
Everyone should be of different opinions, and that's how it would work best.
And it goes back.
Don't form fucking groups of people to try and, like, start shit with each other, and then pretend to be on the people's side when really you're just trying to push your own agenda on either side. I mean, politically speaking, not media speaking, because usually the quote-unquote SJW stuff is actually censored for the majority of stuff that would have international appeal because of the fact that we have to cater to other countries that are homophobic or transphobic, which is why we didn't get gay Dumbledore, because Russia. Like that was I was like talking to this like a group of coworkers because it was the whole thing because Little Nas, the guy who did Old Town Road, came out as gay and a whole bunch of people were all like up in arms of I can't believe this gay guy did a rap song.
Wait,
which
really?
I'm sorry, if some gay kid wants to clumsily rap about cowboys, who gives a shit? One, cowboys are the most homoerotic things on earth. If I say the words straddle, leather, tight pants, and rope, and your first thoughts are not gay porn.
Not everyone thinks like that, Llytic.
But yeah, like people get it like, oh yeah, that was just like that time that guy got a Dumbledore tattoo on his back the day before J.K. Rowling revealed that he was gay. And his friends all gave him shit about it. I was like, who gives a shit if the guy's gay?
The whole thing with it is like, don't get a tattoo of like a picture unless you have someone who's super competent and can do a really good job. Get a tattoo of some of their quotes, because that.
Well, yeah. Well, it was a good picture of Dumbledore.
Okay.
Well, it's like, you like the character of Dumbledore. I don't see why you would give a shit about this man being on your back regardless of his sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better when it's a straight man writing me.
No, man, it's okay. He said no homo first.
No homo, bro. I was inside you last night. No homo.
We're back to this. All right, let's keep reading. I want to see if we can get through at least half of this tonight. Okay. We're going off topic like nothing else.
Oh God. Okay.
Harry opened.
Oh yeah. Harry opened the main entrance to the chamber and prepared his efforts. What? You'd hope the end results weren't too devastating. 4 dots. But he didn't really care one way or the other. Oh, much like me with this story. Only people in the building right now were Filch Dumbledore and a few of his rather unhappy guests. The house elves? Peter Pettigrew. Not Peter, no, shit, fuck. The poultry guy.
Peeves.
Peeves.
Yeah, who wasn't in the movie.
He wasn't in any of the movies.
No, I know, and he played a.
They had nearly headless Nick, but not any of the others.
Yeah, they had a cameo from like the Fat Friar and the Bloody Baron, I think. But like
the Bloody Baron, kinda, yeah. I mean, he wasn't covered in blood like he should have been, but children.
Yeah, PG. So, but yeah. Like, I mean, the Peeves played a really big part in the story, though. Like, a lot of times.
Important. Why the fuck wasn't he in the movie?
It kind of, I mean, it might have been a Link thing, kind of like how they kept Tom Bombadil out of the Lord of the Rings movie. But like, I don't know. I was really disappointed about that one. Harry wasn't doing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm guessing whenever they made the first movie, because whenever they released the movie, like the last book wasn't out yet.
Mm.
So I'm guessing it was a whole thing of they didn't realize how important he would become.
Yeah, I guess not.
The importance of the character. So it's like, yeah, we'll just leave him out. And by that point, it was too late.
Yeah, well.
That shit happens.
Yeah, well. The Harry Potter movies are still pretty dang good. They follow the books really well for the most part. And
I mean, I wasn't happy with Prisoner of Azkaban, but that's because it flips everything timeline wise. And that bugged the shit.
Yeah, well,
like nothing was in order.
Mm-hmm. That was more for a. Let's see, what's the term I'm looking for? I don't know. I don't know what
it wasn't in a way that made sense with structure either. It was like part of the whole, like, I don't know. Anyway. Read your line. Tom? 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 Okay. Tom? Oh, okay.
You there?
Yes. Yes. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Is your mic muted? Because I see that you're making noise, but I can't hear you.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
That was weird. Okay.
Well, I was yelling at you.
Okay.
It's your line.
I just okay, I'll read my line then. Harry wasn't doing this for the greater good. There was no such justification. He was doing this to ensure that Albus Dumbledore never ever got involved in the newborn Harry Potter's life. I guess it was on my end because okay.
Pettigrew was handled.
Dumbledore was next.
Snape had left the country, but it was fair game if he ever returned. I was really hoping that would have rhymed. Pettigrew was handled. Dumbledore was next. Snape had left the country. Da 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 da.
Something that rhymes with next.
Yeah. It'd be a whole thing towards every other line rhymes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so...
but if he ever came back, he would face a hex.
There we go. Trelawney was the only other member of the Deadly Quartet, and Harry was monitoring her. Okay,
that's a really dumb name.
When did he dub them the Deadly Quartet?
It's a really dumb name. I've come up with some dumb names. That's a dumb name.
And not in the good way either.
It's a really fucking dumb name. I don't like that name. It's a really fucking dumb name. I cannot get over how much I hate that name. That is such a fucking stupid name.
You could have come up with something better. Or just not giving him a name. I mean, just say the Four and you'd be good.
The Four Dicks.
Yeah, that's a better name than the Deadly Quartet. I'm just imagining the Deadly
Quartet of assholes.
An indie band who decided to mix heavy metal with violin music.
Basically, like the Quartet of Assholes would have worked better. Trelawney was the only other member of the Quartet of Assholes, and Harry was monitoring her.
I just read that, but okay, I'll read the next one. Today's
No. I was just pointing out that would have worked better.
Oh, duh. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, yeah.
Like that name works better.
Yeah, it does. This is this is so dumb. Okay, let's keep going.
We're just having an idiocy breaking point.
It's to the point where it's not painful. We're just laughing because it's
God.
I've
come up with some dumb shit. Some really fucking dumb shit. I've never written it down because I've realized this is some dumb shit.
Yeah, me too. And I write down a bunch of dumb shit that I'm like, I'm going to delete this because this doesn't work.
Yeah, and Tom writes Aragon fan fiction.
I haven't done that in a long time. That was when I was in middle school.
Today's action will be simple and indisputable and merciless.
Harry walked back into the Chamber of Secrets. He stopped just in front of the revolting statue of Salazar Slytherin. Speak to me, greatest of the Hogwarts Four.
Now, it's parcel tongue. You have to hiss it.
I don't know how to speak parcel tongue.
Speak to me, greatest of the Hogwarts Four.
Okay, you want me to do that? Because I can? I don't...
I already have. I'm shameless.
Okay.
Pensives were a handy thing. Harry was grateful to have owned one in the old timeline, which aided him preparing for this moment.
The massive basilisk took only moments to push her way into the room. Harry, of course, had his eyes closed.
She ate him.
Come with me. You have work to do. Can't really hiss that because there's no S.
Yeah. You are not the master.
I am your new master. I killed the old one.
He's been dead for centuries. I highly doubt that. The snake was quiet. What am I to do?
Follow behind me. I am setting you loose in the school. Okay, if Harry was hunting unicorns in the Forbidden Forest and drinking their blood, he would totally be Voldemort right now. Like, just gonna...
Harry has become Stalin.
Attack.
Evil allowed to rise after the death of Hitler. Oh no, this other evil died. Hooray, this other evil died. Oh shit!
Attack with your teeth and head. Do not kill with your eyes.
It is my strongest weapon. You fucking idiot.
It does not serve my purpose. The snake just kind of The snake just looks at him, eats him, and leaves.
What if I look through a mirror? Just paralyze them. No. Why not? The snake was silent. Harry assumed it meant the snake would do as told. Really, it was just dumbfounded by the caucasity of this bitch. To be honest, he didn't care what the snake got up to. It might eat a few students. He didn't really care at this point. Just so long as the whole thing was devastating.
Harry led the basilisk from the chamber through the series of caverns that led to the entrance into Hogwarts. Harry drew his wand and sent 5 powerful bludgeoning curses at some of the old masonry. It was enough to weaken a bit of the floor support, but the rest would have to be done by the basilisk.
Oh my god, I just realized... Oh, god damn it. He's sending this thing to its death.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck you, Harry. Killing it in self-defense is one thing. Sending it to its death is another, you fucking asshole.
Die for
I don't care if it's a giant murder snake. Fuck you.
Die for the motherland.
Harry's opposite St. Peter. Just sending snakes into places. Instead of casting snakes out, he just sets snakes loose. Break into the school. Destroy anything you can.
I'm not to survive?
Probably not.
I understand. It was a long, damp life.
I would have much preferred, probably not. Fuck you. Thank you, Harry hissed. He felt a pang of remorse for the suicide mission he just condemned the basilisk to follow. Oh, fuck off.
No, you don't, Harry. Don't try to play the
If you felt bad about it, you wouldn't have fucking done it. There are other ways to deal with an asshole wizard than a basilisk. He heard the battered against the weakened stones that held the bathroom floor in place. The bathroom collapsed on... Okay, for one, England, toilet! 2, it collapsed on top of him, killing him instantly.
Good ending.
He returned to the chamber entrance, went inside, and sealed it. After 1,000 years, the chamber would no longer be a secret. I mean, it stopped being a secret. like 92.
But this is the 80s, so it's still kind of a secret.
Yes, but you just have 12 years. But they wouldn't. But they still wouldn't be able to get inside. Oh, fuck off.
Harry retraced his
for fingerprints.
Check his pulse. Harry retraced his steps after doing a bit of investigation inside the chamber. No hidden rooms, no valuable manuscripts, nothing save for the Basilisk to consider the space a chamber of secrets.
There was that one toilet ghost.
Yeah, she saw every
time she tried to molest him in the hot tub.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
That was a thing in the movies. And the actress Ramona Myrtle was actually like in her late 30s or mid 30s. So that's uncomfortable.
Really?
Something like that.
Huh.
Older than like what she was playing.
Okay.
But like with special effects and stuff like that, that's an issue.
If
she was translucent. It's kind of harder to notice age with that. History was funny that way.
The reputation the chamber had acquired was far greater than its actuality.
It's a room with a bust of fucking
Salazar Slytherin.
Salazar Slytherin with a snake the size of a fucking whale that kills people when it looks at them. That's a pretty big secret. You could only get through the women's toilet. Salazar, what the fuck? Toilets weren't even a thing back then. That's even more confusing. It was 2,000 years ago.
But if the wizards have wizard wireless, what's to say they didn't have plumbing before?
I mean, according to Mel Gibson, Jesus invented the modern chair. I mean, the modern, like, chair and table. So...
Wait, what?
I'm trying to remember which it was, but he created, like, I think, if memory serves, he created, like, a modern armchair in Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
It was like a wooden armchair, but it's like, I don't think that design existed 2,000 years ago.
Huh.
Like, yo, check it out. I invented the chair. Granted, he also had them all speaking,
well, Jesus.
What it was. He had them all speaking Roman, despite the fact that the international language at the time is actually Greek. Therefore, in public places, they'd be speaking Greek, not Roman.
Well, Jesus was a carpenter. He might have made a chair with handles. You never know.
Well, there's a difference between a chair with handles and an armchair.
I mean...
A chair with handles, I just think that either side of the seat, there's a handhold. Not even like a place to rest your arm. Just a handhold.
Well, I mean, I meant armrests, not handles, but yeah.
I don't know. I like the handles idea.
I mean, yeah, that could be fun.
Hesha, what is this? I made a chair with handles. That way you could transport it easier.
Truly, you are the Son of God.
Yeah, who's to say that Mel Gibson Jesus didn't invent the modern toilet and installed them in Hogwarts? Because, you know, when you get down to it, Jesus is just a wizard who happens to be a demigod.
Or Jesus could be a very powerful cleric, or even a lich. Oh, wait.
Depending on how you look at it, because... like, the whole thing is that in Hebrew, like, according to Judaism, the Messiah would not be the Son of God, but instead would be a prophet. Jesus actually only filled one of the criteria set forth by the Torah, by like the Jews at the time, for what the Messiah, who the Messiah would be, and that's the fact that he was Jewish. He filled none of the other criteria. And according to Islam, Jesus was a prophet for Allah, and a precursor of Muhammad.
Well, even
in that case, he wasn't the Son of God. He was just a prophet who channeled the power of God. You know, like a wizard.
No, that's more like a cleric, though.
Okay, that might be more of a cleric. But yeah, who's to say that Jesus wasn't a bro and helped out Hogwarts when it was first being started up? It just not gave them modern toilets.
I mean, Jesus would totally do something like that.
Well, yes. I mean, a lot of Christians wouldn't. but that's because Christians are anti-magic for some reason.
They're
They're okay with clerics, just not wizards.
Anti-black magic. I guess there's a difference or something. There's some explanation behind it, but like,
if you're doing Jesus, well, not if you're doing magic. If you're doing magic and not specifically invoking the name of our God, then you're not allowed to do magic. But I'm channeling this from within my own body. You're going to die. But yeah, who's to say that Jesus wouldn't have been a bro and been like, yo, I saw these things from the future, and I'm just going to say, these are really going to fucking help you out. So,
he probably wouldn't swear, though.
Well, he'd be totally okay with you swearing because Jesus was a total fucking bro in the Bible.
Yeah, but he probably wouldn't do it himself, I don't think.
Okay. These things I saw for the future that are totally going to help you out, man, like, check it. So, it's this thing called plumbing. So what you do is you just, like, pull this little pulley, and, like, water just goes down. And it just, like, washes away the shit. Because he would say ass. He would say ass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, well, the Greeks and the Romans technically did
install these in your bathroom. Don't ask me how I got to this island. From the Middle East. But I'm here. And I'm helping you out. I'm helping a bro out.
Well, to be fair, the Greeks and the Romans did have primitive plumbing, so...
Yes, but they didn't have toilets. They had a hole in the ground that you shit in. Or they had a pot that you dumped down in the street. Or you were just Diogenes, and you just sat down and shat while having a conversation.
What?
Diogenes would piss and shit mid-conversation because he did not give a fuck. He is where the term cynical comes from, and at the time, it literally just meant dog-like. Diogenes did not give a single fuck. The only thing he owned was a dish for water that he threw away when he saw a homeless child scooping water from a puddle with his hands.
Huh.
He lived in a barrel.
Was the barrel also his clothing?
No, he had some robes. But he didn't really care if they were actually covering him up so long as they were on him.
Oh, jeez.
So if you could see his dick, he didn't give a shit.
Huh. Let's keep reading.
He stated that when he died, he wanted his body to be thrown over the walls of Athens to be eaten by wolves. This was a faux pas in ancient Greece, as you were supposed to bury bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, all right, when you throw my body over, give it a stick so it can fight off the wolves. But Diogenes, that won't work. You'll be dead. You can't fight off wolves when you're dead. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I'd be too dead to care, too.
Yep. Okay,
yeah.
So...
Anyway.
Was he the one who held up a chicken and said, behold, this is Plato's man, or whatever?
Yeah. Plato defined man as a featherless biped, and Diogenes plucked a chicken, went to one of Plato's fucking lessons. Went to one of his lessons while Plato was giving it, interrupted it, threw this chicken on the floor, just released the chicken onto the floor, and shouted, "Behold, I bring you a man."
Ancient Greece was wild.
Diogenes was fucking wild. Granted, ancient Greece also had Cato the Younger, whose response to a person he didn't approve of being elected as leader was to gut himself and throw his intestines across the room.
Oh,
as
good
a
Lord.
Final fuck you. It's like, nah, I'm not living in a world where this man is in charge.
Harakiri.
If memory serves, there were people in the room when he did it too.
Of course there were. He needed witnesses so he could make the statement.
Threw his intestines at them.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
He's like, no, fuck you. Here's my guts.
Ancient Greece was wild.
Anyway.
Yeah, we should keep moving.
Did you say poor Dumbledore and the 12 members of the Board of Governors who were now meeting in an angry session wouldn't see the humor in that. What humor?
Harry did.
What humor? What the fuck is Harry seeing? He's fucking hallucinating.
I don't think he's seen anything, so like
his eyes are still closed.
Yeah, probably.
I see everything. August 17th, 1980.
Justice, when it came, was swift in the
Taylor
Wizarding
Swift.
world. Look what you made me do.
God damn it. Yes, her song about abusing people.
The Basilisk had died and been the subject of three consecutive issues of the Daily Prophet. Dumbledore had been fired as headmaster moments after the board determined the entrance point of the beast.
This massive monster broke into the school from underground. You're fired.
You're fired. You should have seen this
because you didn't get rid of an ancient passageway that was created by one of the founders. 2,000 years ago, after Jesus gave them toilets.
Yep. All the other headmasters are also fired now too, and will be stricken from the board of headmasters.
The 4 founders of the school will now be fired. Wait, what? They've been dead for thousands of years.
Yep, and we're firing them. That doesn't excuse what they did. They're fired.
Helga Hufflepuff, you're on thin ice. Oh, God. The fact he'd had to kill the thing and get his mortal wounds healed by his phoenix was immaterial to the livid board. Basilisk had been within a few hundred feet of their children and grandchildren. You said the only people there were Filch and Dumbledore.
And a few of the unhappy guests.
Oh. Who brings their children to a board meeting?
Maybe it was Bring Your Child to Work Day.
Now, little Jimmy, I'm going to be in this meeting. It's going to be very boring, but you're going to need to sit through it. Can I do spells, Daddy? No.
Here, play with this rock. Just hand him a rock.
Play with this newt I found on one of the walls. Entertain yourself.
Entertain yourself, but don't use magic. Or interrupt the meeting by being loud.
But Daddy.
Now, Jimmy, we've talked about this. Boys are supposed to be quiet and listen when their betters and elders are speaking.
But I don't want to be here. Well, we couldn't find a sitter. God, Dumbledore had known, or at least suspected, that as had hundreds of years' worth of headmasters. But Dumbledore got the blame that day.
The board this is kind of accurate to politics. They find a scapegoat and they use them.
You unleashed the hidden E.T. for the Atari cartridges from the Mojave Desert. You're to blame for this. No, you didn't release. They were released during your time as president. You're to blame for this happening. But I didn't know that someone would release the cartridges for E.T. for the Atari, and that they would unleash devastation upon Nevada. I don't know why I went to Obama, but okay.
What story arc is this?
It's the one where people find the disposed of cartridges for E.T. for the Atari, but due to their closeness to where all that radiation was, where all the radiation testing was done in the Mojave Desert, they all fused together into a giant radioactive monster.
Oh no.
And their release just wreaked destruction upon Las Vegas.
The board had looked at the rest of the candidates and passed over Slughorn McGonagall and Hector Wintergreen, the ruins instructor. Professor, I'm pretty sure that's
Did you say runes or ruins?
Runes.
Okay, that makes much more sense.
Mm-hmm.
The ruins instructor.
It might have sounded like ruins, but it's because that's my Texan showing. Apologies. Professor Drebmeyer taught herbology and was 109 years old and looked older. She never had a shot. The consensus, yeah, she was one of those anti-vaxxers. The consensus candidate became Phileas Flitwick, charms professor and former dueling champion. Wait, was that canon? Was he a dueling champion?
Flitwick? He might have been.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Phileas Flitwick. Oh shit, that's right. He was like he was a fraudulent dueling champion.
Fraudulent?
Well, because the whole thing is that like all of his adventures and shit were that other people go on the adventures, he'd like biographically account them, and then he'd like obliviate people. It was shown that the only spell that he was good at was obliviate.
No, you're thinking Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh shit, that's right. Whoops.
Flitwick was the short guy who taught the herbology.
Yeah, the guy who had next to no. He didn't teach herbology.
Was
It was the Hufflepuff.
What? Okay, yeah, no. Okay, it was
Flitwick was the guy that was only
he was
shown in the movies conducting the choir.
Yeah, he was also the charms master who was teaching like different charms and stuff like that.
It makes sense that he was a dueling master.
Yeah, I'm
looking up. Oh, you're looking him up?
Yeah, dueling champion. After completing his nastily exhausting wizarding tests in his... Oh, that's what Newts stand for. In his 7th year, Flitwick graduated from Hogwarts and then proceeded to become a master duelist and earned the title of dueling champion at some point, and has a shelf full of trophies to prove it. It is also likely Flitwick studied further into magic, becoming an accomplished wizard, masterful in spells, charms, and defensive magic, and even possibly earning the title of doctor, and becoming a fully fledged and educated sorcerer before beginning his teaching career back at Hogwarts sometime in or before the early 1970s.
Dr. Wizard.
Dr. Professor. Professor Doctor. Proc.
Dr. Professor Wizard.
Yes.
I don't know why, I just found it funny. Becoming an accomplished wizard. Well, I hope he was a wizard.
Dr. Professor Wizard, but you may call him Sir.
Yeah, it makes sense. So they got that right.
Mm-hmm.
He would be the first half-breed ever.
Yeah, he was half goblin.
That's why he was short.
Yeah.
I just thought he was like a half, like just, I just thought he was short.
I thought he was just a little person, but that was
that's
just
what I was
me.
gonna say. I was like, I was about to say like midget, and I was like, wait.
I was gonna say midget, but like,
I thought he was just a little person.
Yeah, you tried to be politically correct on this channel. I'm going to respect that. So,
I try to be politically correct. I just try not to be insensitive.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Yeah, I guess midget would be a little insensitive. But
like you call someone a midget if you call someone a midget, it tends to have a kind of a negative connotation about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess you're right. I'd never really thought of it that way.
Yeah. And I was about to say dwarf, but I was like, wait, dwarves might actually be a thing in the Harry Potter universe.
I think they are, but
so I was like, wait, that would make even less sense.
Okay, I'm Googling that now, too.
What is just a dwarf? Wait.
Are dwarves...
I almost said halfling.
Okay, halflings are... Okay.
Those are Lord of the Rings. It's like, okay, shit, someone's gonna get on me for that.
Wait, what? Hold on a sec. Hold on a second.
What?
I found a fan fiction titled Harry Potter and the Dwarves of Erebor. Okay.
Those are Lord of the Rings dwarves, right?
Yes. Harry Potter died after the final battle, but the Valor took pity on him and decided to grant him another chance at life in Middle Earth.
He got isekai'd!
As a dwarfling. Now alone in a strange new world, but still armed with his magic, Harry meets up with a company of dwarves, a hobbit, and a wizard that are on a dangerous quest that could lead them to certain death. Can Harry and his magic change? What? How many chapters are... Oh my goodness.
Bookmark it!
Okay, I am bookmarking this. Okay, quick warning, there are 31 chapters, including an epilogue. So, okay. We found our next Harry Potter thing. Oh my goodness. I literally typed, "Are dwarves a thing in Harry Potter?" and that was the first thing that popped up on my search thing.
Oh, helps if I put two T's in Potter. So it's not Harry Potter.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Dwarves are stocky humanoid magical creatures about knee-high. On Valentine's Day 1993, Professor Lockhart surly-looking dwarves as cupids with harps and golden wings. One ran through a crowd of kicking students in the shins until he found Harry.
Oh, that's right. There was a dwarf mentioned.
Yes, Tyrion opened his backpack before seeing a Valentine message from a secret admirer.
That's weird.
There were raucous dwarves staying at the Leaky Cauldron with Harry after he blew up Aunt Marge and left home in third year. Hermione mentioned Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as a fairy tale she knew from the Muggle world instead of the tales of Beetle and the Bard. Snape used to play on words with the creatures.
Why was that mentioned as under dwarf things?
I don't know. Snape used a play on words with the creatures dwarf and giant to describe the sizes of two of the potions bottles used in his logic puzzle protecting the Philosopher's Stone. Third, as you see clearly, all are different size. Neither dwarf nor giant holds death in their insides. And Ferris Spouthole Spaven, who was the longest-running minister for magic from 1865 to 1903, was kicked by a centaur and nearly killed after he told an objectionable joke about a centaur, a ghost, and a dwarf walk into a bar. Okay, so dwarves are a thing in the Harry Potter universe.
Okay, yeah, it's just that they're not very common.
Yeah, because
they're on their own planet.
And they're more like gnomes than dwarves. It sounds
well, no,
like.
Because gnomes are a thing in that they have sharp little teeth.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking garden gnome size. That's what it was saying with dwarves being knee high and everything. They're not the Middle Earth dwarves that everyone thinks of. The ones who are.
Yeah, they're not Norse dwarves.
Mm-hmm. They're not Artemis Fowl dwarves either. Which
that would be really weird because that'd just be a race of Warriors.
Oh man, I forgot about the Artemis Fowl books for the longest time, and then I picked up one and I was like, man, I enjoy these so much.
I actually found a graphic novel adaptation of the first book.
Yeah, I did.
One of the things I noticed was the design for the centaur in that, because of the fact that he actually had like the tips of his fingers instead of fingernails. It was like little hooves.
I didn't notice that, but I noticed he looked more horse-like than
his entire physiology was horse-like.
Yeah, no, it was
the thing is like basically like his nails were just at the end of his fingers.
Yeah,
so it was like a little set of hooves.
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to find that.
I'm gonna 10 hooves on his hands.
I'm gonna have to find that graphic novel again and look it up because it was funny because I always imagined Holly Short as someone a lot taller than what she actually was. Because I guess
despite the fact that her name has the word short.
I know, but it's like she's just such a big character.
I see what you did there.
Okay, that was an unintentional joke, but I think that's where my mind was because I read the Artemis Fowl books, the Lord of the Rings books, and the Harry Potter books.
She was really important, so I just kind of imagined she was like 7 foot tall.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. When young Tom, when he would read books, he would see like main characters as a lot taller than they were, and he wouldn't see them age. So like I was always, even in the Deathly Hallows, I was always seeing Harry Potter as 12-year-old Harry Potter. So like
that's how you measure a character's importance in a story. Their height.
Yeah, kind of, but it was just
he's the main character because he's 10 foot tall.
It was a weird thing I did. Hang on a second. Yeah, lots of strange things went through my head. That has not changed. It's just the strange things have changed, not the strangeness of the things.
Characters are the most important ones. Oh, the ones that look like a professional basketball team.
The Titans.
It's so fucking stupid, but I love it. Anyway,
yeah, let's keep reading.
Be the first half-breed ever made headmaster of Hogwarts. Progress. Very few people complained. It's the 80s. People are going to complain about progress. Mm-hmm. People complain about progress now.
Mm-hmm. They're probably going to complain about it in the future too, because people.
Our first Cheeto Puff president.
Where did that come from?
Oh, it's the whole joke about like, because people were assuming, okay, we've had our first black president. What's our next president going to be? Is it going to be gay? Are they going to be like a woman? Nope, it's a Cheeto Puff. The Cheeto Puffs never got enough representation in office.
Oh, jeez. Oh man.
Oh god damn. Those are the ones likely to do so were an escapade.
If only that were the case.
Because all racist people are in jail. That's how it works.
Harry closed up the newest edition of The Prophet, which discussed in detail a number of bizarre, probably true allegations about Dumbledore's years as a transfiguration professor. I mean, the students probably got better. Just gonna say that right now. And wondered
turned me into a newt. Newt. I got better.
That's what.
Oh God, dear God! If this is how that writer thinks this is how this writer thinks the world works, I pray that they never find out about Facebook and Twitter. There was a tweet a while back from some motherfucker in Ireland complaining about the fact that, like it showed a picture of an Irish, like, I don't know, I guess 4th grade equivalent class, and it was like, we're a good number of like black kids and like non-white kids in the class, and they were like, "This is the problem with Irish culture these days, and this is why our culture is being destroyed." It's like, no, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the fact that the British government is trying to make everyone in the UK British, not black people.
Yeah. Man.
Dear God, I hope this author has never been on Twitter, because Twitter has a Nazi problem.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein, relatively recently, for the new game that's going to be coming out like in the future, sent out a tweet, just like as a joke, "Make America Nazi free again." Because the Wolfenstein series, at that point, Nazis have taken over America.
Yeah, no, that's clever marketing, in my opinion.
You will not believe the number of people getting pissy at them about that.
Oh, good Lord.
You just had to get political. It's like, okay, 1, America has a Nazi problem right now. 2, Wolfenstein is about killing Nazis. You are an American killing Nazis.
Yeah, that's
this
awesome.
line makes sense.
Man, but funny thing, I played a wizard in D&D, and I learned the polymorph spell, and to deal with a troublesome party member who was always Leroy Jenkinsing his way into things, I turned him into a newt multiple times just because it was funny.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be hilarious to turn him into something that could actually, like, solve the problem by Leroy Jenkinsing things.
No, okay. Think going into a city thing. Okay, we're going to talk with the mayor to get our next quest. Leroy Jenkins, I attacked the mayor. That's the kind of problem we were having.
You're kidding.
No, I am not.
Holy shit! Even if I were playing as Renatka, I wouldn't do shit like that. I'd just be weird and creepy.
Yeah, no, I've had. I kind of want to see you play Renatka now, just because.
We need to get someone to run that campaign.
Yes, I know. We probably have to do a look.
We need to find someone who does both D&D and Magic Gathering so we can get this shit going.
Yeah, I could probably look on some Discord sites, but I don't know if I trust it or not. But we'll see.
Well, yeah, I'm saying you find friends of yours.
But the only person who would be able to do something like that would be Zokin, and he does Magic the Gathering and D&D. And while I think he could do it, I don't know if he'd want to. Is the problem? Because I feel
like he'd want to play that one.
Yeah, no, a lot of people will want to play that. We have to find someone who's a DM. Like, I'm okay DMing like the adventure we're doing now, but I love being a player character more than I like being a DM. And it's just
I think with the D&D DM stuff, that would stress me out more, because it's like, oh god, I have to do a campaign, and I'm having to stick to all these rules. Like, that's the thing with the Monster of the Week thing. It's like, oh, hey, everything's really simple.
Yeah, you don't have to stick to all the rules. The rules are just a guideline to make your imagination go wild.
I meant like when it comes to monster stuff.
Oh, yeah, well.
It's like that's also the whole thing is I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's a story I can work with?
Okay, yeah, I gotcha.
And like with all the different monsters, and like if I were to bring in homebrew stuff, it's like a whole thing of, okay, what's something that's balanced but interesting?
You know, that's the whole thing is like, there are plenty of people out there who love DMing and put kind of their heart and soul into that. And it's like, if we could find someone like that to be a DM, that would be great. And I can be a DM every now and then, and so if we got them on board, I'd be like, okay, you can be a player character every now and then. I'd be fine running a couple sessions here and there, but like, you'd mostly be DM. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. We should probably get back to the story.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking like the whole thing of like, you've seen how I lead a session of Monster of the Week.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it.
Well, like that kind of thing where characters are constantly like in all sorts of like both existential and physical danger for a DM.
Just Arlo and
with Monster of the Week, talking is not necessarily a free action.
Yeah, no.
I can play with expectations like that.
Mm-hmm.
With D&D, talking is expected to be a free action.
A couple
D&D, it's frowned upon if I have a monster encounter happen mid-sentence.
No, I've done that before.
Like, if someone's, like, carrying on a conversation, it's like you suddenly hear a twig snap.
Yeah, no, I've done that before. If people if it's not necessarily character development type thing, and it's more like they're just like making their characters do stupid crap, like talking about like gold and stuff, and then it's like you hear a twig snap because comedic timing can be fun.
The werewolf thing was like technically a character developing moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was character development between Zephy and Olaf.
Mm-hmm.
And like mid-sentence, he just gets blindsided by a werewolf that was hiding in the tall grass.
They failed their sharp rolls.
Why was it even like factoring in sharp rolls? Well, like, okay, yeah, they did do the sharp rolls, but it was the whole thing of seeing if they actually had any idea of like if something was out there, but it was a whole, I was going to have it to where it's like, but the fact that neither one of them did was like, okay, this is going to get fun.
And then boom, just punched in the face.
And now punched in the face, grabbed
and slammed into the ground
multiple times. It had a hold of him while it was running.
I'm just imagining he grabs him by the face and is just dragging him along that way.
I was like punching the desk so that it could be. But yeah, like you've seen how I do that. It's like translating that over to D&D. I fear that might piss off certain players.
Yeah, and those players are the kind who can get over it. That's the way I look at it, anyway.
It's like just... I try to play with expectation.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, no, that's
that
the whole
vampire thing. Like you mentioned, that scared the shit out of you.
Oh my God!
I was like, yes. I was really happy with the reveal of that. Just so is it customary for you to just go on a hunting trip with a silver knife?
Arlo stops mid-sentence.
Well, it was like the whole thing. Like, I think you said it out of character too. Like, that's hidden in my boot. I can smell it on you.
That's hidden in my boots. I can smell it on you. Arlo stops everything.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing of like, I do honestly like fuck with the part. Now, it's supposed to be in a way that makes sense with the world and it is relevant to the story. I'm not just fucking with people to fuck with them.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to keep like the party on their toes and stuff like that. Like,
and you totally.
I was actually expecting someone to do something because I specifically mentioned that there was a large mirror at the back of the bar, behind the counter.
Oh yeah, you did.
I was expecting someone to say something.
Yeah, no, yeah,
because bar full of vampires. Mirror.
Huh. Yeah.
I was expecting someone, like, as soon as, like, it was mentioned that they were vampires to, like, double check the mirror. But no one remembered the mirror. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, no. Oh, man. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry. I would have checked it but no, I
had this whole thing planned out involving.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Monster of the Week. We can miss small things, and our characters are very, very mortal, and we can feel it.
Well, okay, I'm going to spoil it anyway, because...
Awesome. Did I cut out again?
The whole thing is that if you would look into the mirror, you would have actually seen the reflection of the vampire. What? Oh, dear God. Okay, so he just left. Are you coming back? I guess we're gonna find out whenever he responds. I have no real idea. I also have no idea if like they're running around that. Oh, he's typing. He's typing. Okay. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I disconnected somehow. Like I couldn't hear anything, and I was trying to talk, and then I don't know what it is. I think it's my internet.
I'm gonna spoil the mirror thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
probably
not going to come up in part 2.
Yeah.
But basically, if you had looked in the mirror, you would have seen the reflections of the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for this would have been because of the fact that what rejected vampires' reflections was silver.
Mm-hmm.
Silver was seen as a godly metal and therefore would have rejected things that were considered soulless.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you would not see a vampire's reflection in a silverback mirror. However, modern-day mirrors are not backed with silver, they're backed with aluminum.
Ah, okay.
So you would see the reflection in a modern mirror.
Oh, okay.
I would have played off that.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man, I'm kind of disappointed now.
So I was kind of half expecting like someone to say anything involving the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping. And so I was like, wait, if you're all vampires, then how can I see a reflection? Well, it's aluminum.
Yeah, I was completely blindsided by the vampire bikers. It was like I was just gonna be like, okay, Arlo and Kid are gonna go have some drinks, go back to the hotel, go to bed, and then start hunting the werewolf in the morning. Then it's like, oh, this bar is full of vampires.
Vampire bikers. Vam bikers.
Vam bikers.
But yeah, it was the whole thing of like, we can have fun with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that whole thing though of like I like to keep the party on their toes for story reasons. Mm-hmm. Like the world is not your friend.
Yeah, no, and I love that. I think that's part of why I love Dark Souls, because like the world hates you and you're gonna have to figure out how to overcome it, which is part of why like whenever we beat the monsters, it's such a feeling of accomplishment, and I love it.
Yeah. But like that sort of thing is like, yeah. Running a D&D session, that's the kind of thing I'm looking at. Like, that's the kind of thing I'd be pulling. Mm-hmm. And if you shackle me with more, like, all that sort of stuff, oh dear God, is shit gonna get weird.
Well, there is a system like Monster of the Week called Dungeon World. It uses the same system that Monster of the Week does, and if you wanted to do sessions that way, that could be a possibility. So
I also thought it'd be fun to do like a Monster Hunter D&D session. Mm-hmm. The thing is you'd have to limit the classes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't do magic classes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could technically have magic weapons, but it'd be more in the fact that they deal elemental damage.
Yeah.
Or in the case, well, actually no, you couldn't really do bard stuff even with the hunting horn. But the problem is like, if memory serves, the only monster that anyone has ever come up with a D&D sheet for is the Devil Joe.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Like, well, I can't do an encounter with a Kygrex or an Anjanath or Ligarius.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Anyway, do we want to finish this part of the chapter?
Yeah, let's finish this part.
Uh-huh.
God.
Because
anyway,
nearly been going for 2 hours now, so.
No, wait, okay, let me scroll back. Oh, well, nah, I mean, it's been like 2:30. I mean, not 1:30.
Okay, an hour and a half, yeah.
Anyway.
Not 2 hours, okay.
I believe it's your line. No, my line. Mm-hmm. He wondered if he needed to start tracking the old man like he did with Trelawney.
Suddenly, he was up out of his chair. He hadn't checked on the recordings made by Trelawney's necklace in a few days. He moved quickly through the rooms of the White Estate until he had his hands on the recording crystals.
We really should get around to killing this guy. This shit is just getting sad. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I've dealt with some real head cases back in hell, and this man is a head case. You would not believe. Yeah. I mean, I think I've dated guys worse than him. Or better than him. Not really sure. I probably have dated worse than him, but those didn't last long. Maybe a few weeks at most. And they tried to burn my clothes. Anyway. Okay, you're still here. Yes. A quick tap of his wand and he was listening. The knot in Harry's stomach began to dissipate until disaster struck. Tom? Okay. This is just getting weird. Because I cannot hear Tom.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. Hold on.
Okay, then. I swear your audio is going to be...
Yeah, it's...
Because I'm pretty sure it's also going to be desynced.
Ah, crap.
Granted, I'm pretty sure that Zane's desynced during Monster of the Week because of how long he was muted for.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Because his time is much shorter than everyone else's.
Okay.
Granted, he didn't speak for like the last half of it, so...
He was asleep, so...
Well, yes, but even when he woke up, he wasn't speaking.
Yeah.
Like, I think he said one thing and then muted.
Yeah. That's. I want to apologize right now. I don't know what the deal is. Sometimes the internet just flicks off and on later at night.
Hell.
I don't know. We have a wireless connection, so I'm hooking up. That's not wired into like the cable like we normally have. And when it works really well. But when it doesn't work at all. So,
all right, I believe it's your line now.
Okay.
The old fraud.
The old fraud had just summoned a house elf and was halfway through asking for a cheap bottle of goblin wine when she began choking and sputtering.
Oh man, I wanted to read the fortune. The voice that came out of her mouth afterward was one Harry knew well. The voice of fate.
Do you want to read the fortune? I mean, I'm okay with you doing that. Okay.
The master of time and death unhinged the world a bit. He lifted the yoke of fate from one so young and placed the bit into his own unyielding mouth. For good or ill, one line of time is ended, the Dark Lord was vanquished. Countless time lines unravel and veil their dark borders. Was the Dark Lord the worst possible fate a world could have endured? Terror, pain, fear, and blood approach. Let the master know his battles are not ended. His young charge is not yet made safe from the cruel whims of time. Aside from the structure of that being terrible.
Yeah, because Harry's the main character.
None of that rhymed.
Yeah, no, not at all.
None of it had a poetic structure. I mean, if you had done that, it would have at least been made sense for the structure.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if you're gonna make a prophecy thing, at least try to make it have some rhythm or something. Like, heck, write a limerick.
When you find the mirror in revolt, reflect on nothing and shatter the window.
Yeah, or something like that.
Like a prophecy I came up with a while back in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Works better than this. But yes, this is literally just congratulations, Harry, you fucked everything up.
The winds of time wait long and still. Fate awaits you on your windowsill. Like, that was just something I just came up with just now.
Poem.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not hard.
I mean, granted. Oh, man.
It wasn't good, but it was still better than that.
An oracle who also, raps on the side. So all prophecies, they rap their prophecies.
That's amazing. Put it in a book.
Oh, okay. If we ever do that parahuman RPG thing, I want someone to make a character who does that. Someone makes a seer who raps.
I'm not going to do that because I can't do rap all that well, but...
oh my god, that'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. You could make an NPC who is an oracle who did that.
It's the modern day,
Yeah, come on.
Oh god, even better, you have it to where he doesn't realize he's a seer. And so he's just been uploading this shit online and not realizing it's telling the future.
That would be great. Or someone who does children's television and does a lot of rhyming stuff doesn't realize they're revealing prophecies or something. Okay, not as cool as the rapping oracle, but that's okay. It sounded better in my head.
Just imagining listening to rap and then you realize that the shit it's saying is shit that is started happening, but after the song came out.
Yeah, just like a viral internet video. Then you watch it and you're like, wait, what is this? Wait a second.
Like someone who's good with media literacy and that sort of stuff, so they're actually picking up on like what the message of the rap is. It's like, wait a minute. This just predicted a stock market crash.
Harry listened to the demonic voice a dozen times before he was sure of every word. The meaning was all too clear.
Harry's an idiot.
Yeah.
Harry the baby wasn't safe exactly, but the new prophecy didn't condemn an infant to carry the fate of a nation.
Harry the Elder still had work to do. Terror, pain, fear, and blood. It sounded like someone was playing from Voldemort's rulebook.
Also, that's redundant. Terror and fear?
Yeah, it's redundant. He speculated on who. All the known Death Eaters from the original timeline were dead or imprisoned. A few dozen new ones had been unmasked, but there were no guarantees the Aurors had caught them at all.
It was was it a Death Eater building a new power base?
Was it a Dark Lord come from abroad to conquer Britain?
In Soviet Russia? What about those? Oh God, it's a communist dark wizard.
Oh no.
He comes in and then doesn't put himself in charge. That way it's true communism. He gets rid of the infrastructure and then doesn't put himself in charge.
Oh man.
I need to make true communism, so we have magic in place to make sure that no one rises to a position that they shouldn't. Magic keeps us all equal.
We are
true
all
communism, comrade.
We are all comrades in wands, comrade.
I'm not gonna lie, that would actually be kind of hilarious.
That would
because of the fact that every time communism happens, it's never true communism because true communism required no actual leader.
Yeah.
That's the kind of whole thing of why for communism to work, there needs to be no God, because of the fact that would imply that there is someone above everyone else. Anyway, was it about those Death Eaters talking about Voldemort's wife and child? Was that connected somehow? Would this woman rise up in her husband's place? This woman! I don't know why. I feel like it reads that way.
Yeah, it does. Like, how dare she get out of her place in the
Because
kitchen?
so far the men have all been portrayed as evil, and then you have like Trelawney, she's just an old coot.
Okay. Was it a threat no one suspected? A more competent sort of fudge climbing the ladder inside the ministry, or a mad potions master about to become Mr. Hyde? Okay, Severus Snape doing a whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing would honestly be kind of cool.
It's Harris Potter all along. You created this monster, Harry.
He said it could have gone in a whole bunch of different directions, like this. Okay, Harry going back in time, he killed the Dark Lord, but there have been so many unintended consequences, such as
his grandfather's evil,
such as Severus Snape becoming the Harry Potter equivalent of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
or evil grandpa.
Yeah, that works too.
Harry had, according to prophecy, brought the mess to pass. He felt obligated to see it through to rights. You're just making things worse. He thought now of a lesson he'd learned when that woman's accountant uncle, a squib more or less expelled from the Weasleys, had contracted cancer.
Harry had cured the cancer in his lung, but then the man had still died 4 months later of a completely different cancer in his kidney. What had the Muggle doctor explained to Arthur? Cancers get big and effectively stun or kill off all the other cancers in a body. When we get rid of the main cancer, sometimes the other ones can begin to grow again. Sometimes they grow with a vengeance.
Grow with a vengeance. And I heard he got really stupid. No, not just talking about the fourth one.
There was a fourth one.
I mean, all of them after the second one aren't worth watching.
Yeah, no, I've seen most of the first one, but I haven't seen the second one yet.
You haven't completed the first one.
Okay, it was a VHS tape that I had gotten from the library. I was watching it over Christmas, and we were going back and forth doing like family things. I was trying to watch it and decorate a Christmas tree out at the same time. It didn't exactly work, and I ended up not finishing it. So yeah.
Voldemort had been a massive cancer. Weird. This could also be applied to Harry right now. Had he been restraining this new threat? Had his death enabled it to be free? It seemed possible. It was unfortunate.
But what to do?
Waiting was not Harry's strength. Neither was rational thought.
I was going to say just thinking in general, but...
Thinking hard.
Thinking hurt, head, know what do.
Mungo punch horse. Present for Mungo. Ooh.
See y'all next time.
Mungo like beans. You not see Blazing Saddles?
I have seen Blazing Saddles. It's just I only saw it once. I remember the scene. I just can't remember the quotes.
Hey, folks, where are the white women at? He said the sheriff is near. All like the big band playing, turns around the corner and you see
See y'all next time.
See ya.